God is saying that Donald Trump is going to die. President Trump is going to die. They're going to take him out. As soon as he is done doing what they need him to do, they're going to take him out. Dispose of him is the phrase that God is using here. And that's where war is going to come from. Civil war is coming to America, and there's nothing that anyone can do about it, because God says that they have catalysts that they have planned to use, carefully orchestrated events that are guaranteed to produce certain reactions in the population. If Mr. Trump is killed, there's nothing in this world that will prevent people demonstrating in the street, picking up guns, and doing some very horrible things. They're going to get rid of him. Partly because they don't need him anymore. Partly because they know, and I have been saying it since 2020, God was showing me this. They know that if this man decides to stop obeying them for any reason, and he decides to go and be a independent candidate, or he decides to just go off and do his own thing and form his own party and run in another election, they know that there is nothing that they can do to stop him getting votes. He may not be able to get all the votes, but the amount of votes that he commands would make it impossible for any other party to have an unopposed cakewalk to the White House. It will also make it impossible for any other candidate with Republicans to stand and receive the public vote. God says it's impossible to beat Donald Trump. Actually, it's impossible to beat him in a free and a fair election. It's impossible to beat this man. And they know it. And they fear that one day he will not be obedient. They fear that one day he will not listen. And so that's why they're going to take him out of the way. And Kamala Harris is going to have an unimpeded walk to the presidency, an unimpeded walk to the White House. And that's what's going to bring about instability in this nation. I see that America is just so frustrated. I see that, she's just like a person who can't get what she wants. And God says that frustration is part of your punishment for being so sinful and so disobedient and so proud. That frustration that you feel, every last one of you, he says, that frustration that you feel inside, like you just can't get what you want, that things are just not shaping up the way you want, he says, that feeling is what you deserve for pride. That feeling is what you deserve for disobedience. That feeling is what you deserve for thinking that you are a God and that you can work the outcome according to what you want, America. You will not get a single thing that you want. You want a second Trump presidency, you will not get it. You will not receive it. You want free and fair elections. The New World Order will corrupt the elections. God says American elections are going to be more corrupted than you find in third world countries. America loves to go and be an election observer. She loves to go and insert herself into the politics of many nations and say, these elections were fair, these elections were compromised. God says, what a joke. You are about to become the world's biggest and most famous banana republic. People will laugh at how American politics become. People will truly laugh. They will say, is this the nation that ruled the world? And you can't manage your votes? What's happening to the votes? What happened to the ballots, America? These are the questions I hear people asking in the spirit in various accents. Russian accent, French accent, German accent, and the Italians can't even ask anything because they're just laughing. They're drinking wine and they're laughing and watching. The greatest nation in the world, confused at the polls, confused at the ballot boxes. She goes and she thinks she does something, and when she comes out, the results are completely different from what she wanted. Frustration I see, and empty wallets in this country. I see people opening their wallet. Selfer, I just see one or two $1 bills. This is unheard of in a nation that has, across the board, maybe not every person, but across the board, an average, generally, financial security. People are generally financially stable here. People are not starving as it is in some parts of the world. But I see a man opening a wallet and there's just $2 in there. $2, not even $2.50, just two actual dollar bills. And this man is so confused. And this is a picture of what inflation is about to do to people. Inflation is about to make people so poor. If inflation was a person, inflation is about to become the fattest person in America. Inflation is about to gain weight in the American economy and eat up the gains. I hear the Lord saying, eat up the gains, inflation. Eat up the surplus. Eat up the extra. Eat up the whole economy, inflation. Feed until you get fat. Eat up all their reserves. Eat up all that's in their storehouses. Eat up all their extra. Eat it all. Wipe out their gains. Take it all away from them and make them poor. Make them impoverished. This is the punishment for letting mammon rule this country and worshiping money more than God. How you love money. Gold index, silver index. You talk about that more than you talk about the Bible. You love to talk about wealth, increase, storage, finances, savings. God says there will be no savings in America. You will break open those piggy banks. The money that you were saving, young women, God says that the young women in this country, some of them are very smart and they have saved up impressive sums of money. But now I see a woman she's taking a few bills out of a secret savings that she had that she never wanted to touch. She was keeping this savings for something special. I feel bad for this woman because she's feeling pain. She hasn't touched this savings in a long time. The only time she interacts with her savings is to put money into it. A young person has to be this millennial